Okay, shenanigans, shady town, mama's couch. So everybody's up in an uproar about Tennessee moving on from Nico. Let's remember a couple things as we digest what has happened. Keep in mind, the Oregon head coach snitched, right? So in the era of everybody looking out for themselves, he became the good guy and snitched. The other thing that happened was the University of Miami head coach, the master of Shady Town, okay, started popping off with strong words. So he says, if they want to play holdout, they might as well play get out. All right, Coach Cristobal, you can say that if you want. But we remember Xavier Lucas and how that all played out. We remember Carson Beck and how all that played out. So you don't have clean hands to be talking about holding out or getting out. But let's keep going. Okay. So in this realm of NIL, transfer portal, collectives, rev share, shadiness is rampant and all over the place. And how many times have we heard, they got to fix this. This is not sustainable. This can't keep. We got to do something else. Blaming players is the norm. Though if we recall, just remember that the players just want to get the dollars. They don't provide the dollars. Now, clearly the players don't have clean hands either, right? So no one has clean hands in this story. But we need to understand that the money has been made available to facilitate this process. And the players are the beneficiaries if they are successful. Okay? Now, Nico's handlers overplayed his hand, but somebody in the Tennessee ecosystem was paying him in high school. That wasn't Nico's money. Somebody gave him that money. Okay? When Xavier Lucas withdrew from Wisconsin because Wisconsin wouldn't put him in the portal, which was shady. Okay? So he just withdrew from Wisconsin altogether and enrolled at University of Miami. Not only did they let him enroll, they let him enroll as a current student for this semester when it was past the window for that. And they let him play in spring ball. Apparently he had a pretty good spring ball season. Okay. But that's shady, right? Okay. Michigan plied Bryce Underwood with $12 million that came from Larry Ellison and his wife, Jolynn. $12 million for the high school student. Tom Brady pitched in and talked him up. Bryce Underwood didn't have $12 million to make that deal happen. Michigan and Larry Ellison and his wife had $12 million. If we don't know who Larry Ellison is, he's the founder of Oracle, the number 2 richest man in the world. So I consistently tell you there will be winners and losers in all of this. Okay. And so we're going to see how it pans out for Nico. If he's a winner, a loser, if he breaks even in this deal, if he has to go down market, if he ends up sitting on mama's couch, we will see come Wednesday how his story plays out. But let's talk about what fix they want to introduce. They have a plan. Be careful what you ask for. So there's a new bill in Congress. Surprise, surprise. And it was introduced by Republican Congressman Mike Baumgartner. He's a Republican out of Washington State. Apparently, Mike campaigned on the reform of college sports. He calls his bill the Restore College Sports Act. Let me tell you what the Restore College Sports Act features. And withhold your enthusiasm until you get to hear my whole list. First, Let's scrap the NCAA altogether. Let's get rid of it and replace it with a new entity called the American College Sports Association, or ASCA. Okay. Now, ASCA's commissioner would be appointed by, drumroll please, the President of the United States. That's what Congressman Baumgartner's bill says. Not only would the President of the United States appoint the commissioner, the Senate would have to confirm the commissioner. What happened to the party of small government? Now they want to run college sports at the presidential level? But wait, there's more. So he also thinks that NIL funds, whatever that means in his lingo, should be shared among all student athletes. There should be an equal distribution of broadcast revenue. Not sure what these terms mean, but that's what they're in the bill. Okay. And student athletes would have the ability to freely transfer with no limits. We're talking about twice a year for football and once in basketball having chaotic effects. No limits? Here's one that'll get you. They would cap coaches' salaries at 10 times the cost of full attendance at the institution where the coach has the role. Now, we probably think that coaches make too much. But 10x the cost of the institution? And there would be conference realignment limited to the same time zone. Now, we know conference realignment has gotten out of hand. Okay. And there might be some merit because the way we started with this conference is there were time zone considerations in their formation, right? Pac-12, ACC, SEC, right? They were geographically centered. So those are the 7 features of the Restore College Sports Act and your new commissioner appointed by the president and confirmed by the Senate. They ought to do something, right? They? So Baumgartner said, quote, "You need to make elected officials accountable for these things because it is in the public interest." So I challenge you to be careful when you say they should do something, because they will do something. And you better be careful that the thing they do is the thing that you want. Enough for now. Let me know what you think.